President Uhuru Kenyatta launched the Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company in a view to increase the uptake of mortgages from the current 26,000 to 60,000 in 2022. This week on The Law, we discuss how you can get a mortgage. But first, what is a mortgage?
A creature that actually exists is called a charge. It is where a financial institution gets an interest in land for exchange of money and repayment of that money at an interest or money's worth.
A mortgage agreement gives the lender the right to take ownership of the property if you fail to repay the money you've borrowed plus interest, or to transfer full ownership upon payment of the debt. This means the bank will only lend you if you offer the title to the property. The first step is to make an application that is evaluated based on your score on certain parameters such as length of work contract, amount of personal expenses, documentation of property to be used as collateral, age and credit score. The application is either approved or rejected. If the application is approved, the applicant is required to furnish the bank with documentation and details such as identification documents, spousal consent, sale agreement or offer letter and valuation report. Successful processing will culminate in an offer with the terms and conditions being issued to the borrower. Where the borrower is purchasing the property to be used as collateral, the lender provides an undertaking to the seller of the property for the release of original certificate of title, transfers, and other relevant documents. The lender then registers a charge, which is a means by which lenders enforce their rights to the property against the title for the sum borrowed.
Once it's approved, the banks instruct lawyers. They instruct advocates to do a process, what they call perfection of securities. So the lawyers will prepare what I've called a charge, a legal charge, which is basically a contract between the parties, between the bank and the person borrowing or company borrowing.
The lender then pays the sum borrowed either to the borrower or to the seller of the property, depending on the nature of the transaction. This whole process can take between 90 to 180 days. The speed is pegged on how swift you are in providing the necessary documentation and the registration process at the Lands Department. Despite mortgage having its advantages, there are also cons to taking it.
You may actually lose the property if you are not focused and have put up a well-to-do plan. The banks actually have the statutory power of sale to sell the property that you have charged.
The nature of a mortgage means it is a secured loan against your property. So if you cannot keep up with repayments, you could end up losing your home.
If someone defaults on their payments, the law provides that the financial institution should give notice. The notice period should not be less than 60 days. Subsequent to that 60 days, the bank needs to actually wait 30 additional days before it can exercise any one of its remedies, because the Land Act of the Laws of Kenya 2012 provides that within 90 days of issuance of that notice, that the bank can exercise its remedies. For example, it can sue the borrower for recovery of the amounts outstanding, or it can sell the property, appoint a receiver.
What are your rights in these circumstances?
The Land Act, specifically Section 97, is very clear that the banks cannot sell the property at a market rate of less than 25% of the value. Given a scenario whereby somebody has paid more than 3/4 of the loan, then in that instance, they would actually be given the first right to sell the property and pay what they're unable to pay. Or if they're not able to sell, or the bank gives the requisite notices and time has lapsed and the situation occurs that the financial institution now is selling the property, what is over and above, what is surplus to what was owed to the bank legally ought to be refunded to the borrower.
Equipped with this information, you can now proceed to get a mortgage. Betty Kiptum, The Law.